Let's get right to our strategy session. Joining us, the Democratic strategist and CNN contributor Donna Brazile, and the former White House press secretary under President George W. Bush, Ari Fleischer. He's also a CNN contributor. Guys, thanks very much for coming in. I was intriguing what the president told ABC News yesterday on the possibility, very sensitive subject, of raising the Medicare eligibility age from 65 currently to 67. He said it's something that's been floated. When you look at the evidence, it's not clear that it actually saves a lot of money. But what I've said is let's look at every avenue. Didn't completely rule it out by any means. To which Nancy Pelosi was on CBS this morning saying this.
Raising the retirement age, it does not get you that much money. So you're doing a bad thing when it comes to seniors, and you're not achieving your goal. So we're saying, does it work? Is it fair? Or is it just a trophy that the Republicans want to take home, whether or not it contributes to reducing the deficit and creating jobs?
She wrote an op-ed saying, Donna, no increase in the retirement age care from 65 to 67. Is this an issue that potentially could derail all of the negotiations? Would the president have enough Democrats to support him if he goes ahead and bites the bullet and does this?
I don't think so, Wolf. I've talked to a number of Democrats who are opposed to raising the eligibility age for two simple reasons. One that Leader Pelosi talked about this morning, there's not a lot of savings in it in the short term. The second reason, of course, is that millions of Americans will be forced out of insurance. They will not be eligible for Medicaid or their spouse or their own employer-based health insurance, and so they may not be able to have insurance.
Obamacare was supposed to take care of that, though.
Well, it would take care of a small percentage of them, but not enough of them that might just fall through the cracks.
Why wouldn't Obamacare take care of that?
Well, you know, it will be fully implemented in 2014, and so I don't know what the parameters are in terms of raising the age, but I don't think the millions of Americans who will fall between 65 and 67 when Medicare kicks in, I don't know if they'll be able to get coverage. And that should be the focus, making sure that no American is without coverage during that critical period of their life.
How important is this for Republicans to raise the eligibility age?
Well, let me give you a couple numbers, Wolf, and the Census Bureau just came out with it today. Right now, there are 43 million Americans over 65. By 2060, there'll be 93 million Americans over 65. And, of course, it's a blessing. We're living longer. When Medicare was started, for men who turned 65, they lived to 78. Now they live to 83. For women, when Medicare was started, they lived back then to 81. Now they live to 85. And so we are becoming an older society. Fortunately, we're healthier. We're living longer. But part of that means we're straining everything, and especially young people. It raises $124 billion over 10 years, which, interestingly, is 5 times as much as the Democrats would like to raise by cutting loopholes to oil and gas companies, for example. So that's a sum of money they think is worth getting. This is times bigger. And it's one of those modest changes that actually makes it conform to Social Security. So seniors are getting ready for this. The trick is you do it down the road enough so it's not a sudden or a surprise. But as a society, we have to make some changes.
But if we close the Bush tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans, that will also give us a substantial amount of revenue. And I don't believe it's fair to put seniors on a chopping block before we put some of the other revenue raises.
That'll raise about $400 billion over 10 years if those top 2% go back to the tax rates that existed during the Clinton administration from 35 to 39%.
Even after you do that, the debt still goes up $10 trillion.
Well, there's a lot of other cuts you got to do. Spending cuts, additional tax revenues. Look, we got more than $1 trillion a year in deficit spending. There's a lot of cuts. There's going to be pain. Listen to the outgoing senator, the Republican from Indiana, Richard Lugar, delivering his finale speech today. Let's listen to what he said.
Currently, the national security dialogue between the President and Congress, in my judgment, is one of the least constructive I have ever witnessed. There is little foundation for resolving national security disputes or even the expectation that this can occur. All parties should recognize the need for unity in the coming year when events in Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, North Korea, and other locations may test American national security in extreme ways.
Will his colleagues, the new Congress, the House and the Senate, heed that advice?
No. And I wish people had heeded that advice when George Bush was president. You know, we really pulled apart on foreign policy. We didn't used to do that. And I remember before when North Korea lied to the United States under President Obama about what they were doing. And I said, the problem's not the United States, the problem's North Korea. And I do wish people would communicate like that. But I'm afraid, Wolf, we crossed that partisan bridge a decade ago.
Should the president reach out to a Republican and ask a Republican to be, for example, Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense or CIA? He's going to have a lot of openings in his national security area. Would that be wise?
Well, look, there are rumors that he's talked to Chuck Hagel. There's rumors that he's talking to a whole variety of people. But, you know, I want to go back to the Bush years. Look, this started years ago, and it wasn't helpful that, in the Bush administration, that Democrats were targeted who didn't go along and get along with the Bush administration on a host of initiatives following 9/11. So I think we need to just stop it. I agree with Senator Lugar. We need to find common ground, especially on foreign policy. Ira and I were talking about Iran in the green room, about the threat that they pose, and the missile crisis now in North Korea, the Syrian conflict. I mean, there's so many issues right now that we need to come together and talk about as Americans, not just as partisans.
But, unfortunately, we've got to leave it right there on a positive note. Let's hope there is some bipartisanship on these national security issues.
You know?
Good to have you here, but you'll go back to New York at one point.
I try to keep myself out of here.
I'm going to give him some advice for the Republicans, too.
Right.
Free of
I don't want
charge.
my children to grow up to become Redskin fans. I can't stay here too long.
Thank God the Saints players are coming
The
back.
wait is over for Pope